Hello evolving family, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Little Spaker and this is Elitely Evolving. This channel is all about lifestyle and productivity content. Now if you feel like that would be the type of stuff you are into, then do make sure that you subscribe, join the family, and then of course turn on the notification bell so that every time I post a video you don't miss out on it and you are the first to know about it. So with that said, I think you've already seen with the title that I will be doing a story time. However, we're putting a twist nyana into it because one, my braids are a bit old right now and I had planned to take them off, but I want to see if I can't stretch them just an extra week before we take them off. So I'm going to be turning my box braids into Bantu knots. So these are also braids that I did myself, so I think one day I'll also just show you how you can do your own braids. My lines are not always perfect because you know you're doing things alone. They kind of, you improvise and you make things work regardless. So before we head into the story time and before we get started with the Bantu knots, do make sure that you are subscribed, notification bell is on, and I would advise that you grab a coffee nyana, that you grab some juice, some snacks, darling, because it's about to go down. It's about to go down. It's going to be eating down. So I don't want to make this video too long, so let's head straight into it. Alright, so first things first, I kind of already moisturized my hair off camera, but let me show you what I used for it. So I normally use this soften spray. Well, I normally use this soften free with black castor oil, of which my focus is literally always on the black castor oil. If you can get the black castor oil on its own, great. So I just kind of use this. I can't remember why I bought this, because I normally use the castor oil, but this has also been working very great. However, this is the curl moisturizing spray, so I'm not a fan of it when I have my afro like just out because it kind of shrinks it. There is another one, I think probably add it somewhere here. I'll add a picture of it somewhere, that doesn't do the curl moisturizing spray, but it's so great because it's anti-dandruff and it's been helping me quite a lot with the dandruff. And then another thing I normally use is this was recommended by one of my hairstylists here in Bloemfontein, Doris. So she said that I must use, because I felt like my afro is not growing anymore, that it's stuck, and that was kind of frustrating. So she said try this out, and shame it's been working. Come on, like, look at this growth, girl. Look at this growth, girl. All thanks to the Cosmos ship. It's been really great for me. It's been really amazing. So another thing that I think I might be using throughout the video is this gel. So disclaimer, I don't really like this gel. When I bought it, I think when my budget was tight and I didn't know how it was gonna work, so I figured let me try it out, you know. So I'm not a fan of it, but because I had bought it, I had to finish it. So I've been trying to use it and finish it. So it is the Black Velvet Smooth Edge Gel. I'm not a fan of it. I wouldn't recommend it, but it is what it is. They do what they do. Throughout the video, don't be alarmed as to why I'm facing this direction. There's just the mirror here, just to make sure we see I'm going in the right direction. Okay, darling, going in the right direction. Hey, man. So first of all, I'm trying to think, when was it? Yeah, I can't recall the exact year, but I know it was definitely in high school. This story will be featuring mainly two guys. Yeah, one. I'm back then, So you know when your first boyfriends, man, like, you know, those first boyfriend, the first person that taught you in. So that is guy number one. Let's call him John. Yeah, we'll use the names from Ganama. Let's call him John. So I met John in my late primary years, and then this whole thing spiraled into high school and all of that. There's also a story about him, of how we met. I want to tell how we met, but if you know me, a lot of people know me as a church girl. So how I met John was in this other church choir. Ne? It's a church we were invited to with an old friend of mine. Let's call her Gladys. So me and Gladys we were invited to the church, or I think maybe we were attracted to it because we would always hear it. It wasn't too far from Moneridulate. So we would always hear like the music there, and then we decided one day we're gonna go there. Of which I think the first time we went was literally on a Saturday where they were rehearsing, the worship team was rehearsing. And we were probably listening from outside, and they were like, no, you're welcome, you can come in and join in. And there he was, and I laid my eyes on him. I literally saw him that first day, and I was like, there's my son. There he is. He's there, he's singing. He looks so cute. Don't think I can say the same about him now, but there he was. And from there on, we were like, tomorrow we're going to church on Sunday, we must see this guy. And I think we ended up always going to the worship team rehearsals, but we weren't rehearsing, we were literally sitting and watching these people rehearse. Stupid, I know, it's very dumb. I don't understand why we did that, but nonetheless, and that's one thing led to another. Eventually we started dating with John, and John dribbled me. He dribbled my bomb. He dribbled me. That guy, I give him a trophy for the dribbling that he did. And then so years went by, and then, you know, those first relationships, it's breaking up and getting back together again. You break up, it's cheating, it's what. It was just one of those turmoils. So right now I'm just using the gel just to hlanganya the hair. I would use a brush, but I don't feel like I really need it right now. Fine. So me and John, we date, and then our relationship is on and off, man. There's cheating in between, there's forgiveness, and then fine, you know. But eventually we break up, and then a year or two goes by. Then I date the second guy, you know. Fine. And so my relationship was good, and that guy really, like, from where I'm sitting here, I could say it with my chest that guy really liked me. He loved me, I guess, at that point in time, because he sacrificed so much to make sure that our relationship works out. Anywho, I think a year or two down the line, I date guy number 2. Let's call him Peter. We're working with the Ghana names. Let's call him Peter. So I date Peter, and our relationship was okay. This guy was going all out for me. And I think our age difference was, he was like 2 or 3 years older than me. But that guy went all out for me, I done did that nigga dirty. I done did him dirty. But life goes on. Fine. I date Peter. I almost called his name. I date Peter. And we're good. We're dating, Rajola. It goes on months and months. I can't remember how long we're dating, but it was one of those long-term relationships. To the point whereby everybody at school knew that we were a couple. Like, we were that couple that everybody just knew about. And Peter was a Xhosa guy, by the way. I think this is where my thing for Xhosa men went south, I'm not into Xhosa men, Miss me on that one. Miss me on a Xhosa man. Miss me on a Xhosa man. Anyway, so now guy number 1, what do we call him? John. John comes back into the picture. Keep in mind that he dribbled me, He dribbled me so much that we decided to break up shop, and I moved on. And I was so heartbroken, guys. I was so heartbroken. You would swear the world was ending. Anywho, fine. Me and John comes back into my life. He literally just, I don't even know where he came from. He comes back from nowhere, It's like, no, I want to fix things. What I did to you, what? Huh? I get a I say, yes, I take him back.
I take John back after everything he has done to me. I take John back.
Keep in mind, I'm still with Peter. So, Peter, I don't know, maybe I was tolerating him. Maybe I liked him, But I don't think I like loved him, because the fact that I was willing to end things with Peter for John should say a lot. But then now, keep in mind, this guy is a Xhosa guy, and I think he had a bit of gangster in him, because I was so scared of him, innocent. But shame he didn't do anything. He never threatened me or anything, but he was just one of those guys that were kind of feared, you know. Everybody knew, you don't mess with Peter. You don't mess with Peter because he'll show you flames. And I think I was also a bit scared of him. That's why I remember at the time I was saying, ish, you know, because I felt like, what if I try to dump him and then he beats me up? What if? I'm just saying, what if that happens? Okay, Grand Shop. So now I need to find a way to end things with Peter, you know. I remember, Shem, it was a week of me trying to figure out what am I going to say to Peter, obviously in a way that's not going to put me in danger's way, because what if he's like, no, we are not breaking up.
You know, break up. Okay.
Either way. So he was just one of those Xhosa guys, and I was so scared, bruh. I didn't know how I'm going to go about ending things with this guy, because as I told you that he was sacrificing so much and he went all out for me, hey? Because this guy lived so far from Monegidula thing, and he made sure he comes every day. He was coming to see me, and he was walking, chief. Walking to come and see me. Every day, bruh. Every day. No day passed by that Peter didn't come to see me. And he walked him. He walked that route like nobody's business. So now I need to figure out how am I going to end things with Peter, because now I want to be with John. First love. Just thinking about it annoys me. Just thinking about it annoys me, because really, how to love is blind. Work out on that thing. Grand Sharps, I'm still trying to figure out how am I going to end things with Peter. Now I'm dating John and Peter at the same time. You know, I'm dating them at the same time. Now I'm even juggling the times. Okay, I know it. Me and Peter were going to the same school. So obviously, after school, we walk together. He walks me home, carries my bag, and so anything school related, I know Guti Peter is there. So I would only meet John after school, the thing like maybe during the day, you know, we'd meet somewhere. I don't know about you, but for some reason back then, I don't know why. Why was that a thing though? Wait, because I remember with John, we'd really always meet at a corner. Anyway, so this one particular day, keep in mind, now I've mastered the art of juggling. I was juggling the times of, okay, I know at school I'm with Peter. We're at school together, maybe break time. Directly after school, I know he walks me home sharp. I'll see him again tomorrow, the next day. If it's a weekend, I know he comes to town. When he comes to me, he walks to where I stay. And we meet, and nice. Like the relationship was nice. It was working out, hey? And then with John, I meet him because he went to another school. So I only meet him later when he comes back from school. So I even get a chance to go home, change, do what I need to do, and then we'll meet a bit later. I can't remember what our mode of communication was. Was it phones? Maybe I don't know, because I already mixed it. I can't recall, hey? But then Grand Sharp, so we'd always meet like not very far from where I used to stay, hey? Not very far. Also, these things keep untying. Should I put a rubber band on it? Maybe I should put the rubber bands, but now I have to put them in oil because it's like a crackle. Okay, I think I should put rubber bands on it. Okay, I'll try it now. Grand Sharp. So that was like literally now I got the flow of working around. Oh, actually, this is also sound. This is also sound. See, I think you can also leave it like this. I think this also works. Anyway, so this one particular day, Peter had like this best friend, and he was a bit older than him, but they were so close, they were like brothers, basically. And it happens that I am, okay, now you need to follow me with this story. I am at the corner, landing. Like it's not even far from where I stay. So I'm standing with John. This is guy number 1, first love. Ne? I need you to follow me right here, because this is where it gets tricky. This is where it gets a bit tricky. So I'm with John, first love, and we're there, shabu. Our normal routine, when he comes from school, we meet at the corner, shabu. And then we had to part because I think in Babuma 5 or so, and I knew I need to go buy. My mom had sent me to go buy milk and stuff, so I needed to go home, and then go to the butchery to go buy milk. So I needed to end things in a sense of like, okay, now I need to go shop. I part with John, kiss him, shop with Pianto. Grand shop, I go home, fetch the school. About 5 to 10 minutes, I get at my gate. So now I want to explain the whole setup of this whole situation. So from my gate, when you look, because our house, how do I explain this? Oh my gosh. Anyway, so I exit my gate and I still need to go like up the street. Yeah, man. So I exit the gate and I look up, like it's a long street up, because I'm gonna go left at the corner and go to the butchery. The butchery is like straight a bit, jiga left. Fine. So as I'm walking straight from my gate, walking up, I see man, like up the street, bruh. There are people there, but they're in a rush. Something okay, maybe give to chasing, people coming from work and maybe they're just in a hurry to get home. I don't know. But at first I was like, whatever, Hey man. As I'm looking, I'm like, no man, something ain't right with these people coming up. So now I can make out it's 3 people. Now I can make out, okay, it's definitely 3 people coming up. But I can see the person in front. When you, when you're coming behind them and you're like, let's go. Can see this person in the front is literally being pushed, bruh. Like, let's go. When I look properly, I'm like, damn. I look properly, I'm like, no man, that's John. John being the person in the front. Like, no, that's John. When I look properly at the back, I'm like, damn man, that's Peter. But then I'm like, no man, how can John and Peter be in the same space? And then I see now the best friend, wa Peter, and I'm like, like a twin. That is definitely, let's call him, what can we call the best friend? Let's call him Dan. I don't even know why I want to call him Dan, but let's call him Dan. Like, no, that is Dan, Shem. Yo, that is Dan. So that is definitely Peter next to him. So like I'm walking closer to the corner that I need to turn left at. Remember, guys, the butchery is like a few meters straight up, and I need to jigger left and go to the butchery. And then my house is literally at the back. Fine. As I'm walking, so now we're basically walking towards each other. Like they're coming down the street and I'm coming like this. I need to go turn left. So as soon as I realized what is going on here, and I'm like, yo, why you are? And I'm thinking I can't go back home, because knowing Peter is the type of person who would go and knock on my door and be like, and tell my mom, mama, now I need to explain to mom that 1, I'm dating. 2, who would see what's going on. Why am I dating more than 1 person? Where am I gonna start with that? So I decide if I can get to the corner quick enough so I can turn left, maybe I might miss them. But now, but now they're coming and they're so close by. And eventually, by the time I get to the corner where I'm about to turn left, we get there simultaneously. So basically, so now Peter's asking me, Horenang, what's going on between you and this guy? And I'm like, no, nothing. Dan is like, don't lie. Girl, don't lie, because I just saw y'all. So apparently, the time me and John was standing at the corner, I told you was when we were about to part. Apparently, and because at the corner you turn left and then there's a butchery, like Bilinganagwa. Next to the butchery, there's this other shop in Anlim. like Stupuses whole, you know, those platforms, ne? So apparently Dan was sitting there with the other guys and I didn't notice. So Dan called Peter and said, "Hey nigga, it's going down here. Your girl is busy with another man." Dan calls Peter, and apparently the time me and John were partying, John Jim Olokopanali Denley Peter somewhere, but I'll tell you all about that. Let's track back to us at the corner now. But Dan is like, "No girl, don't lie. I just saw y'all. Y'all even kissed, y'all even hugged, y'all were standing here. I saw you. So don't even deny it. Don't deny it." And I'm there trying to shanganya my words. Uti, how am I gonna go about this? What am I gonna say? Huh? Babuza John, what's happening between you and Gekelet? Did John Yo, how I managed to give this guy so many chances is still beyond me. Listen to what John says. John is like, "No, Gekeleto came to me, Akupadi love back. Gekeleto came to me, Akupadi love back, and then I didn't want to date her. So she forced me into this relationship, and we aren't really dating. So Gekeleto is the one who wants to be with me." So now I'm looking at John, I'm like, "What? Nigga, what? So it's all on me now? It's all on me now?" Hey, yo, I had to go to see Shem. I didn't even get to say anything. So now Peter is looking at me, ne? And he's asking me, "What is going on between you and John?" As I'm about to respond, but I think I was fumbling so much that he felt like, "Yasin, I don't even want to listen to your story because, girl, you done did me dirty, you know?" But the words he said afterwards kind of, they touched me. Hey? And then he said, obviously he's a Xhosa guy, and then he said to me, not to me, he says to John, he says, "You know what? And if you know we valenda, as in John, tati mate yak nans, tata le mate yak." John being like, "No, I don't want her." Guys, I'm standing there. I'm standing there and I'm listening to these two guys speak, and Peter's like, "No, tata le mate yako, the strat mate yako, and phone." And then John is like, "No, I don't want her. So it's fine, you can take her." Am I not standing there looking at these people left, right, and center? And then eventually, I think from just the anger and just being frustrated, Peter decided to leave. He left. Fine. And when Peter leaves, John also leaves, bruh. And then I'm just there like, what just happened, you know? All three of them leave. And then now I'm going to the butchery shop. I go back, I need to buy and I come back. I think I'm still digesting what just happened. Run shop. Next day, we're going to school. Keep in mind that I meet Peter at school. Yeah, what? Next day we go to school. Hi, I guess it's a normal day. In my head, I thought it's just gonna be another normal day. Go to school, man. But when I get to school that morning, I can see, man, people are giving me a stare, chief. Like, why are people looking at me like this? Everybody's looking at me, and now I can feel people are even talking, man. But I can't pinpoint why are people looking at me like this. So now there's this other guy, and who I was in school with. That guy, I didn't really like him in the beginning because he used to annoy me. Let me tell you why this guy used to annoy me. What are we gonna call him? Let's come up with a Venek name now. I didn't meet the Tepo. So what I didn't like about Tepo, he was one of those braggy guys, you know. He was, I guess at the time, those kids we saw as like coming from like a rich family, you know. So at the time, I know this is gonna sound very petty, but I'm gonna say it like it is. So at the time, I remember in Nakoto, everybody was starting to get the DSTVs and stuff. And now at home, we couldn't really afford a DSTV, so we didn't even have one. So I think it's the time when we were like the Trace channel and all the latest music and stuff like that. So we'd always like kind of rub it into our faces, because I had this other best friend of mine, Libana, they were kind of well off, but she was a bit, you know, humble about it and stuff. But Tabo would always come, and maybe we'd all just chilling with the other people, and he'd always come and be like, and tell like my best friend, let's call her Amy, and be like, yo, Amy, did you see the latest song, what, and now making us all feel like out, because we can't engage in the conversation because we don't know what you're talking about. So that's why I didn't like Tepo. So Tepo was one of those guys. I think I would say narata attention, man, of which will make sense when I tell you what he did now. So sharp, okay, we go throughout the school day, and then it's break time now. Tepo comes to me, he's like, hey, little. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, but so you're not gonna act like you don't know what happened yesterday. So in my mind, I'm wondering, what is he talking about? Because there was literally just the 4 of us at the corner at the time I was now being busted for cheating in Nan. It was me, it was Peter, it was John, and it was Peter's best friend, Dan. Do you understand? So I'm confused, Uti. What's this guy talking about? And I'm going to deny that all of that happened. I'm going to deny. No way in hell I'm going to admit that, yes, it happened. I got busted. And then, no way in hell. He's like, no. Dude, you are the talk of the town. I'm like, what do you mean town? Like, what's like a talk of the school? What town? Like, dude, you're the talk of the town because Peter was chasing John Katiba in town. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's like, no. Those people were chasing each other in town, Katiba. I'm like, no, man. No, what do you mean? So now he tells me the story. Oh, no. Now let's track back. You remember I said Dan was sitting there at that stoop and he said he saw us. So let's track back. So apparently this is what happened. When me and John parted ways, when we were at the corner and I had to go back home to fetch the scoople to go to the butcher. Remember that part? So Dan saw me and John standing there by the corner, and then he called Peter. So by the time me and John were parting, it had already given Peter enough time to get to town to where we were. And so at the time John met with Peter and Dan somewhere in the lane. And then they chased his mom all over town with a knife. So the time now I was seeing them coming down the street, apparently there was a whole film happening in town and I come from a very small town. So obviously people were asking each other, what's going on? Why are these boys chasing each other like this? And I think that's where people started talking, no, but KK Leto is the reason behind these 2 niggas chasing each other with a knife. I told you this Xhosa guy was a bit of a gangster guy. So he was literally chasing John with a knife around town. Everybody saw it. I didn't even know all of this is happening until Tepo told me this whole story. And now I'm the talk of the town. And shame, after 2 weeks or so, shame, it's settled down a bit. How my parents never found out about this, I don't know. Maybe they did and they kept quiet. I don't know. But I think this is where it taught me to not date 2 people at the same time, hey, because... But also, I wasn't in the bed because I was still working on an exit strategy from Peter. And you can't blame me. You see the fact that Peter was chasing John with a knife. Can you blame me for being scared to dump him? Can you blame me for being scared to dump this guy? No, you can't. You can't blame me. Okay, but hey, let's take responsibility. I shouldn't have cheated. I shouldn't have started to date someone else and take it in a relationship. And I think after that traumatizing experience, I felt like, you know what? I can't do this. I can't be cheating because, one, can you imagine that I now put John's life in danger? Because what if Peter had gotten so angry to a point where he can't control himself and hurt John? All because of who? Of me. Imagine if all of that just escalated. How would I have felt? Or I am the reason why no more Ahlabilwing and all of that. That would not have been Ayobehe. I wouldn't have been able to live with that. So I think that just made me realize, oh guys, if ever you are in a relationship with someone and it happens that you fall out of love with them, or you feel like they're greener pasture somewhere, vibes, you know, let the person you're with know, you know, see, you know what, I want to end things and I want to try things there. However, you need to be able to live with the consequences. Because what if, look at John, when push came to shove, Shem, he was not about my life, eh? Shem, he was not about my life. When push came to shove, this man did exactly what he's been doing for years. Even before that, he dribbled me. He decided that nope, he gonna be selfish about things and leave me as is. Keep on like it's always wrong, and its consequences I had to live with. So you're probably wondering, I felt like I between my two relationships. Me and Peter had to break up, obviously, because he was so mad at me. Yo, that Costa man was mad at me. Every time he would see me at school, like, shame, yo, I hurt him, hey? He was so hurt. Because Peter was one of those talkative guys and all of that. And shame, for the next few weeks, he was so quiet. And every time he would look at me, there's so much hurt in his eyes, you know? And then Dan, the best friend, every chance Dan got, he would be like, I'm calling him Mama. He'd always be telling Peter, hey, Peter, you know, I'm coming in, I'm coming in, I'm shy. I go with the next. And shame, Peter would just look at me with sadness, man, with so much sadness, and be like, no, it's fine, Meg, leave her alone, it's fine. And then Dan would always be harassing me with words. When I better. I'm like, yeah, no. So me and Peter, we broke up, shame. And funny enough, I think till today, Peter still feels like I done him dirty, of which shame I did. That guy loved me, hey. I even wonder, if I had not done that, where would we have ended? But I don't know. I think he loved me too much. Top end of it would have been possible this guy not a proposal too early for me. Oh my god. I know. It was probably for the best, chief. But everything happens for a reason. And then with John, I wonder that day where he was like, no, I'm the one who wants him. What. Yeah, John kupelele apho, chief. John sidelined me, left me there, and shame he never looked back. He never looked back, that guy. So basically, I lost both the people I claimed to love. And that was, it hurt me. It really, it hurt me. It was very painful. Got like, it is what it is. It do what it do. And lesson learned, I guess, somehow. Lesson learned. I don't know if I wanted to leave one of these. But let's see how it goes. Lesson learned. So guys, when you're in a relationship with someone, we're not perfect, hey? I always tell my friends that we need to be patient with each other, because one, we don't come from the same backgrounds, and we don't do things the same way. Hence, it's so important to just be authentic and to be yourself, so that the people around you can be with you for you, you know? You give them a fair opportunity to decide whether they want to be with you, regardless of your circumstances. But anyway, I think I want to finish these off camera quickly, and then we're going to come back and see how they look and accessorize. There you have it, guys. Those are the Bantu Knots. They actually worked out much better than I thought they would. I love them. I like them. At least this will keep me for like a good week with me long and pretty and cute. I don't like the shape of this one, but I think you can adjust them and work around them as you please. I think also later on, maybe during the week, I'm gonna take these two and like leave them hanging. Should I try it now? But it's gonna miss my whole thing. Let's see which one. So I think maybe during the week I might decide to just do this, leave it hanging, clip it together with some deco. Do I have stuff here? Like leave these two hanging like these, like, you know. So I think with time I will definitely do that. But nonetheless, other than that, if you made it throughout my channel and made it up to here in the story time, thank you so much. Do make sure that you join me again next time, as we'll be doing a sit down. I've got a very great one prepared for you, especially for those first timers. First time for what? You may ask. We'll talk about it in the next video. Thank you so much. Goodbye for now. Get ready for